Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a great day and above all else that you're indeed looking after yourselves and one another. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode. Welcome to a long and winding road. We are counting down our top 20 Beatles tracks. Coming along for the ride with me today is, as you can see, Mr. Ken Cheshire. How's it going, Ken?
Going great. Glad to be here.
Glad that you're here. It's going to be a hell of a ride,
Oh
a
yeah.
hell of a road to go down.
Oh yeah.
And the one and only Mr. Jim Bricker. How's it going, Jim?
I am doing well, Armando. Thanks for having me. Ready to stroll, leap, run, sprint, jaunt. Let's do this.
Leap. That's good. That's good. That's good. I'd like to see you leap. All right. That'd be a
Me
video to
too.
watch. That'd be a video to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to A Long and Winding Road. We are going to be counting down our top 20 Beatles tracks. Now, to make it more palatable for you to take in and for us to do for you, we are going to split this up into two parts. Part one, we are looking at tracks 20 through 11 on our list, and in part two, we are going to be looking at tracks 10 through 1 on our list. Again, to make it more easier for you to digest and for us to do for you, because 20 through 1 in one episode is a hell of a list to go through. So, in looking at my list, just a quick question. How was it for you guys to put your list together?
And it took a while for me.
Okay.
The original, just as sort of point of order and background, the original genesis for this idea came from an internet site called the Hoffman Music Forums. And they're doing a Beatles 20, the top 20 countdown. And their parameters were pretty, the whole album, well, the canon, the canonical albums, shall we say, from a Parlophone standpoint, plus the anthologies, plus the singles. They did not distinguish between different versions of songs, like was released on the deluxe version. So whether your preference is "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," the acoustic demo from the Escher sessions, versus the studio version with Clapton, it doesn't matter. It's just, there was only one listing on there. The
Mm-hmm.
other thing to kind of note is that um, they, because there was such, you know, there's such a non-statement from the Beatles about what the Abbey Road medley really is. Um, there were listings kind of, I'll just say twice. So if you wanted to vote for Mean Mr. Mustard as a singular song, you could. And you could also vote for the Beatles medley. But whatever you defined the Beatles medley to be, the Abbey Road medley was totally up to you. So those are the conditions that we sort of entered into this list with. And so if there are people in there who sort of, raise an eyebrow of really, that's we're just playing by the rules that were set down.
Okay, I get that. If my 2 cents count for anything, for me, the Abbey Road medley began after the track because
I would agree, and goes all the way through
through to the end.
the
Yeah.
end.
Yes.
With Her
Okay.
Majesty clipped
As a
onto the end too.
as a tack on. Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, okay. How is it for you, Ken, to come up with your list?
It took a while because I started with the entire list. Jim, how many were there in total in the entire thing? Anyway, um,
303.
okay. I started with the
303 down to 20.
yeah. First thing I did was I culled out the anthology tracks. Um,
Oh Lord. Okay.
I
Okay.
honestly, I just don't go back and listen to those
Yeah.
CDs. So, and then I went um, and culled out my obvious, um, I mean, the glaring ones, Revolution number 9. Um, and then there's a website where it helps you rank things. and I just painstakingly went through all the rest. I
Yep.
ended up with a total list of 106, and so these are my top 20 from the 106.
Yeah, I whittled
Okay.
my list, the 303 list down to about 104. The second pass, I got it down to about 58, and then whittled it down to a final 40 from there. But we're just going to do the top 20.
Yeah.
Okay, whereas I got a call from one Mr. Jim Bricker last night. I don't know what time it was, early in the evening, from California. And I was asked, do you want to do a top 20 Beatles tracks video? Sure, let me go make my list. Came up
Yeah.
with a list and boom.
Do it 10 hours from now.
Yep.
An
Ladies and gentlemen,
authoritative list.
ladies and gentlemen, my, and yeah, 5 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. Done. Okay, here we go.
Legally binding. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And there's no rhyme or reason. I just came up with my list. Well, I'm not going in chronological order in your release or who wrote what. I'm just going to give you what I know, okay, in terms of my list. And we're going to have fun with this, ladies and gentlemen. So, as I look on my screen here, we're going to go with Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. Oh, no, Ken. I love that hat. We're going to
Yeah.
go, yeah.
The 20 and especially the top 10, you know, like a lot of rankings of your favorite artists, it could change from day to day. Um, these are I've been listening to these songs, back from the US Columbia albums. So, they're literally in my DNA. So, anyway, number 20, I'm looking through you from Rubber Soul. Um, well, what can I say? It's just I find it just hooky as all get out and catchy. You know, this is something that would be on any playlist. Whether it be a house cleaning playlist or a walking playlist or whatever. Um, I just think it's very catchy. I like the way the song structure, especially when it gets to the end of the verse, even just the organ going you know, and call and answer with that little guitar like I just find it very tuneful, what the Beatles are known for. So number 20, I'm looking through you from Rubber Soul.
Oh, that Paul, he can write a melody.
Oh yeah,
Okay. All
it's
right.
not a Granny
Jim.
song.
Jim. Excuse me.
Yeah, my number 20 is also a little ditty from Mr. McCartney, although it's a few years later. This is I Will from the White Album, is my number 20. Again, just melodic as all get out. And, again, to the point that Ken raised earlier, a lot of these things could be sort of interchangeable. The greatness between these is like, microns, and, one list today could be changed tomorrow. But for me, I Will has always just been a very delicate, poignant, it does what it needs to do in a minute and a half. I mean, to do more would be bloat. It just captures everything, just its delicate essence in that small little recording, beautiful performance, wonderful vocal. Um, Absolutely fantastic. Paul writes killer ballads or killer granny music, as John Lennon was fond of saying. And yeah, I Will, top tier for me.
Okay. Okay.
And I recommend an excellent cover of this song by the British group, the Swingle Singers. Heartbreaking.
Oh,
Heartbreaking.
Okay.
I thought you were
For,
going to go with the Eddie Vedder cover from.
No, no. I thought of the Tiny Tim one too, but I'll let that go.
Oh, Ken.
I'm ignoring that. Before I give my start with my list, I want to let everyone know out there I have all these albums in
Yep.
the Beatles box set
Yep.
that Bob bought me back in 20 well, 2009 actually. Oh, years ago. Not to quote Alice Cooper. My number 20 is Dear Prudence from the White Album. And a little footnote. Check out the cover from Susie and the Banshees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great cover. Great cover. Again, from the White Album. Just a very earnest vocal delivery from John Lennon on this. This was written while they were on their retreat or sabbatical, whatever you want to call it, with a bunch of other celebrities, Mia Farrow included, and her sister Prudence. This was written for her sister Prudence.
They're in Rishikesh, I think, is how you say it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then they came back and said, "We thought he had the answer. He didn't." So, and
Sexy Sadie.
yes. Well, we're not going there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a really good track. A very good vocal delivery from John Lennon, and it kind of feels like unfinished to me at the end of the song. I don't know why, but that's my number 20, Dear Prudence from the White Album.
Good
I
choice.
have I have a question to our resident expert in things musical, Ken. Um, is Dear Prudence in a minor key?
No,
No?
I don't think
Okay.
so.
I'm totally ignorant. It just because it's kind of this longing, you know, woeful a little bit kind of tune. It just made me wonder if it's in, minor. But
No.
okay.
It just seems like they were sitting around, which they obviously were at one point or another, and various states of celebration, let's say, or contemplation. And he was just came up with he had the guitar in his lap, and he just started strumming some chords and just came up with this idea for this song. And it has that feel about it to me, so that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jim, I think it might be just that descending chord progression.
Okay. All right.
I don't know, which I love. Yeah.
Oh,
It's definitely one of
yep.
the better songs off that album for me.
Yep.
All right, can you number 19?
Number 19, I'm Only Sleeping from Revolver. Um, to me, this is a how do I put this?
In English.
I um yeah,
It's gonna be one of those
I'm
shows
sorry
that's
for stumbling on this.
no, it's okay,
This is
it's
to
okay.
me, this is very psychedelic, and I like me
Sure.
some 60s psychedelia. And yeah, one of my favorite Lennon tracks. Um, it's just it's trippy,
Hmm.
and I like to sleep.
Okay. All
My
right.
nap song.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
You sure it's
Yeah.
not Ringo's Good Night as your nap song?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Just checking.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Jim.
My number 19 is also from Revolver. If I remember correctly, though, it's on side B as opposed to side A. I'm sticking with McCartney, and my number 19 is For No One. Um, just absolutely brilliant piece of writing and, kind of pushing the envelope of, structures and arrangements of pop songs. I mean, I'm gonna bet that much of the germination of the arrangement idea, with the harpsichord and the flugelhorn or French horn, whatever that is, in the solo, it was kind of germinated from Paul, but then was sort of fleshed out by George Martin, maybe suggesting this or that or the other thing. But yeah, what a masterful little tune. And it's it just kind of keeps with a lot of the themes that Paul was dealing with that time, of just kind of looking at people and lamenting relationships, and kind of talking about things, and third person, and it's striking what a different kind of pop tune it is from what they were writing just 4 years ago. Again, the trajectory of the Beatles is just ridiculous in terms of within 4 years of where they started and what they were doing. Now, whether that's 20% of that is due to ingesting of certain substances, or whether 100% of that is from ingesting substances, I don't know. But the results kind of speak for themselves. For no one, it's for freaking awesome, is what it is. My number 19.
Okay. All right. My number 19 is Along the Winding Road from Let It Be. Um, a lot of people maybe don't know, maybe people do know it by this point, but the album Let It Be was recorded before Abbey Road.
Yep.
And this song just has a feeling of finality to it. The piano on it, the emotional vocal from Paul McCartney, because to me, he sees his band falling apart.
Yeah,
And if you watch the documentary that came out a few years back, of the Beatles, Get
get
Back,
back.
Get
Yeah,
Back, you see him sitting there. John's not coming in for rehearsal. George is not coming in for rehearsal, and he's sitting there back with his head in his hand, like behind his hands behind his head, saying, "And then there were two,"
Yep.
and he is just on the verge of tears because of it. This song is just very emotional, beautifully done, wonderful strings on it. To me, very subtle strings. Not the strings don't overtake the song, the string arrangement on it. But yeah, it's just a very passionate song, very beautifully done, emotional as all get out. Phil Spector did a wonderful job on restoring the production of it. This was at a point too where George Martin said, "You know what? I fucking had it. I'm done. I'm not gonna do this anymore. You guys fight amongst yourselves." And just a little footnote, when George Martin was contacted by Paul McCartney to start recording another album, which would be Abbey Road, he said to Paul McCartney, "I will produce another album if you will let me produce another album.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
So, The Long and Winding Road, my number 19 from Let It Be.
I also love the live version on the Wings double triple album.
oh, Wings Across America. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just goes to show as the power of the songwriting when you don't have the strings behind it.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
So, yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
All right. Ken, you're number 18.
number 18 is Nowhere Man from Rubber Soul. Um,
Rebel Soul's getting some love here and
oh yeah,
Revolver, those
oh
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, when I in the 80s when there was a band that I played in for the longest period of time with the band, we had we had worked up two 40 minutes, 45-minute sets of Beatles songs. Um, and one of the reasons is because all the members of the band could sing well and in tune.
Mm.
So any of these songs that had, harmonies like this, we really took advantage of them. And oh yeah, and I love singing harmonies almost more than anything else. And even beyond that, iconic opening, the rest of the song is just it's great too. I like the sentiment of the lyrics. Um, it just really hits home. and it's a strong ear hook for me. So, Nowhere Man, Rubber Soul.
Good one. Good one.
Absolutely.
All right. Jim.
Okay, this is not only my first John Lennon song on the list, but is also the first of the singles from their discography that appears on this list. Up to now, everything mentioned by everyone has been an album track, but I am going with I Feel Fine as my number 18. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this was the first song to purposely incorporate feedback. Um, and it just really, distinguishes it, just that, you know, sound and then straight into that riff. I mean, John had it going on absolutely for this song. And, you know, again, we're saying before about contrasting where they were from 62 to 66. I mean, even just from 62 to 64, which is when I Feel Fine came out, you know, fantastic growth in songwriting and arrangement. Um, you know, as much as, She Loves You is a just amazing pop song, something like I Feel Fine just has an even greater sense of depth in songwriting, melody, harmonic progression. I mean, it's just, and it's catchy as all hell, I gotta say. So I Feel Fine, number 18.
Yeah, that's one of the best guitar riffs they ever did. And I can't help but thinking of that song in the 70s, Don't Call Us, We'll Call You,
Oh,
where they
yeah.
work in those little riffs. And I remember
Okay.
the
Hmm.
first time I heard that song, like, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's iconic, yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, it's a
You
good
know what
one.
we're talking, you know what I'm talking about, Armand.
I'm trying to remember the song.
I'm trying to remember the
It has
band.
a dun 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 dun, dun part
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the
Okay. Now it's
chorus.
coming back to me. But a lot of, there are quite a few bands that would incorporate,
Sure.
song riffs from the Beatles. I mean, Apple Wine included uh, Day Tripper on their song I Like to Rock. So just on the final section of the track, they included the guitar riffs. So yeah, I mean, the Beatles' influence was felt everywhere. Okay,
Yeah.
so my number 18, we're sticking with the album tracks here for me, ladies and gentlemen. A Day in the Life from Sgt. Pepper's.
Ooh.
Amazing track. Last track on the album, side two. Back when we had vinyl, you could fit 13 songs on two sides of a vinyl LP. You sons of bitches, every single one of you got charging an arm and a leg for albums now. Um, that's my mini rant.
Okay.
I think this is a fantastic song, very poignant, fantastic piano in the intro, and you do not hear John Lennon doing the count in as Sugar Plum Fairy, Sugar Plum Fairy. It's just it goes right into the track after the reprise of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the title track. Beautifully done, and the fact that in the middle section it goes into another song, completely different that Paul McCartney wrote, different tempo, just wonderfully incorporated into the song. And then how the strings come in and build and build and build and build and build, and the final, crash on the piano, the chords
The
that,
six hands on the piano.
yes,
Yeah.
on the piano that they all did. It has emotion, drama, comedic timing on it in terms of going into that the other song that the second song that McCartney wrote, and then it goes back into the original track, uh, that Lennon wrote, and it has drama. And it has everything. It's emotion, and it's sad. It's uplifting. It's the Beatles. That's all I can say. And it's beautiful. My brother-in-law, I've mentioned Mario before on the channel. Mario had this on a cassette. He would make up cassettes of various Beatles songs, and we'd sit there outside on the veranda listening to them. And me being 11 years old, just soaking all this in and loving it. It's yeah, it just brings me back to that time. So A Day in the Life was my number 18.
It gives me an idea for another video. Favorite song, top 10 favorite songs with alarm clocks in them.
We'll work on that idea.
Anyway, number 17.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
Continue. Continue.
yes, from a hard day's night, you can't do that. Um, I love that the main I don't remember what key it's in, but
Key of Awesome.
the key of autumn. But that there's strumming, the main strumming, whatever the key is, it's a seventh chord, which is very unusual to hang, on a prolonged section on the verses. And you know, plus you got some cowbell.
Yeah, love me
I
some
think it's
cowbell.
I think it's yeah. So
Oh my God.
They
yeah,
had the fever.
It's not only
they,
for
yeah,
Fear the Reaper, ladies and gentlemen. It's not
that's
only for
right.
Blue Oyster Cult. You can
That's right.
love some cowbell.
Yeah.
So
Don't fear
so so
don't
Ken,
fear the
if
Beatles.
if
Hmm.
if they're hanging the verses on the seventh chord, when they go into the the bridge, everybody's green, and I totally screwed that part up. Is the reason that's so, I'll say, elevated is because they're going to a more standard chord progression at that time and getting out of the seventh chord?
Part of it's the harmonies, the vocal harmonies.
Yeah.
It is um at that point, you see during the verses, it's just one chord, blah. So when you get into that bridge where there is actually a multi-chord progression, I think that helps.
Okay.
The melody has an ascending element to it, meaning
Hmm.
going notes are going from lower to higher,
Yeah.
and that's usually very common in uh, not just crescendo is for getting louder, but also an ascension of the melody and the notes is
Hmm.
also more dramatic. But yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Jim, you're number
Number 17.
18.
Let's give a little love to George here, shall we? While my guitar gently weeps. My number 17. To me, I think the Escher demo rivals, the full album version. They're obviously very different, and but yet each has their own distinct and sort of powerful feel to it. I'm just the whole kind of solo version. Has this sort of sense of, ennui and longing and kind of just weeping in one respect. But then, of course, with Clapton playing lead on the album version, that's a whole other kind of, bluesy weeping that goes along with it. So it's really hard for me to pick out which version of it. I like the most. To me, they're both just outstanding. And yeah, I originally thought this one was going to be a lot higher on my list, but those darn Beatles songs, microns of difference between them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, true enough. True
Yeah.
enough. All right. My number 17 is Because from Abbey Road.
Yeah.
Side two, track two. Ladies and gentlemen, I have said before before we start taping, I do believe that the medley on side two began after Because. That's all I'm gonna say. I like a song, short track, just beautiful harmony vocals. and wonderful keyboard work on it. Just wonderfully done. Most of my songs, as I'm looking at my list, are from the later years.
Mhm.
You know, it's just, and I've said this before, I've always been a fan of the mid to late Beatles era, with, the more symphonic pieces, more intricate pieces in terms of the instrumentation, like flugelhorn and stuff, using stuff like that, instruments like that. And I mean, they were at a point in their career where, for example, Paul McCartney could watch a symphony on TV one night and go in the studio the next day and explain what he saw to George Martin. He said, "Oh, can we do that?" And Martin said, "Of course we can." So, I mean, they were never a band that were afraid to try anything in the studio. You
Right.
know what I mean? They did what they wanted to do. They came up with an idea. They wanted to express it in a certain way, and they did it. Whether it meant using an orchestra or a synthesizer, and at that time it was. I would imagine the synthesizer was like a pretty new instrument to be used,
Yeah.
in terms of different soundscapes on tracks and stuff. So yeah, they were a band that just did whatever the hell they wanted to do, and with because again the layering of vocals, the harmony of vocals, and they had really tight harmony vocals. They could do a harmony like no one's business. But yeah, I just think it's a very simple song in its delivery, but very complex at the same time. It's a double-edged sword, this song for me. But I do like it, you know. And if you want to hear it a cappella, there's an album out called a CD out called Love, Beatles
Yeah.
Love. Check out the
I
a
was going to
cappella
mention
version
that.
of
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah. Beat you to
Masterful
it.
opening. Yeah.
Yeah, beat you to it. So yeah, check that out. We have it, and yeah, it's wonderful. So because it's my number 17.
Okay, number 16, another track from Revolver is She Said, She Said, um, as opposed to She Shed. But the you anybody keeping track of my list, you'll notice these are all heavily um, riff based, guitar riffs.
Mhm. Mhm.
And this is one of them. I mean, this just takes off. I love the guitar tone that they're using. Ringo comes in with a fantastic drum beat on this, and the vocals just soar. This is just a, no holds barred, great song. And I like the song structure. I like the way that there is virtually no chorus at all. It's just the long verses, and then you get to the end of the verse, and it it's just wonderful. There's a lot of these songs that I don't have specific reasons I love them, other than they just they just hit me. So no expertise here, just be a lover. She said,
So,
she said,
And there's no rhyme or reason to it. A song
yeah,
will hit you when it hits you
yeah,
for whatever reason. So,
yeah. Yes,
so
Jim.
what's the difference, Ken, in that whole section, when I was a boy, and again, I'm sorry for being off on the key there.
Uh-huh.
Is that a bridge or a chorus?
That's a bridge.
Okay. All right. Because
okay.
and it's a bridge because
Uh, First of all,
That's how they
well,
structured it.
it's technically it's a repeating chorus because they do it twice, but
okay.
it's not after every verse though.
Yeah, that's true.
You
But
know,
you can have
a lot
A,
of these
A.
characterizations of sections of songs kind of arbitrary. A
Okay.
lot of times it could be called one or the other, because you can have a song that has two verses and then a chorus. That could also be looked at as um, uh, there is no chorus, but there's a bridge after two verses. It just depends. Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
think
so
a
that
lot of it is the structure of the verse, whether the verse
okay.
is complete in itself, um, which actually, is some subjective too. But yeah, that's the way I see it. So,
Okay, gotcha.
Ladies and gentlemen, that completes Song Structure 101. Now, back to the show. Okay.
Okay.
Jim,
sorry.
you're number 16.
My number 16 is also on Revolver, and this is Eleanor Rigby. Um, we went from, arguably John's masterpiece on Revolver, well,
Oh, yeah.
arguably, to arguably Paul's masterpiece on Revolver. Um, yeah, it's kind of staggers the imagination that, on this one album, just from the one composer, you've got For No One and Eleanor Rigby. Um, again, two masterful songs. And of course, part of the mastery for Eleanor Rigby is just, Paul saying, I think I'd like a string quartet for this, but I don't want them to use vibrato. George Martin doing the arrangement and making it happen. Um, thank God that, George Martin was there as a someone who was not
As
only
it
brilliant and knowledgeable, but sensitive to what it was that the Beatles wanted and can really bring things to the table that captured what they were hearing in their head, but couldn't actually produce. So he was a
is
very simpatico.
as I sip my coffee, ladies and gentlemen, my number 16, wonderful coffee, is Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. So ends
I
off side one of Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Fantastic. You are in the song, sorry, you are brought into or under the big top. John Lennon does the vocal on it. Beautiful arrangement. Just and it has a very carnival atmosphere within the calling out of the names of the characters, like doing whatever feats and all these stunts and to sort of appease the audience. You know what I mean? Like you're brought into this sort of carnival world, and it's wonderful. And the middle section with the when George Martin comes in with the I think it's the Wurlitzer, uh, doing the 3/4 waltz uh, time signature on that. Just wonderful, and then it goes back into those dramatic piano stabs that goes back into the main song. Um, It's Barnum and Bailey in like
sure.
3 minutes or 2 minutes. Because all these songs on Sergeant Pepper were like between the 2 to 3 minute mark. I think one, the
Well, except
reprise,
for Dana Life, yeah.
A Day in the Life, which is the longest one. Sorry. But it's a wonderful atmospheric track. It takes you into the world of the carnival kind of thing, right? That kind of feel. And the ending, the I guess the organ-like ending almost has a bit of a menacing feel to it to me. Because
Hmm.
it's like, what's next, right? What's after this? Where could we lead you now? You know what I mean? Like there's always that has a bit of an unfinished feeling to it, like an uncertain feeling to it, which I love. It keeps you
Yeah.
in suspense. Um,
Well, you talk about a menacing feeling there. I want to, call back to what the Love soundtrack that you mentioned earlier, the
yeah,
version of Benefit of Mr. Kite on there, which at the end, in addition to the swirling kind of psychedelic, carousel
feel,
sounds,
yeah, yeah,
introduces, Helter Skelter and, the riff from I Want You, She's So Heavy on top of it. And
yeah,
it's just this cacophony.
yeah,
I don't know, Ken, if you have that one in 5.1
Yeah.
surround, but I would imagine it's just
yeah.
stunning.
No
It's
doubt.
it's it's amazing. But I mean, for me, even as a kid, I was getting into this stuff. And again, thank you, Mario. Rest in peace, Mario. I was always in love with and enamored by the the lush, intricate arrangements of the later Beatles tracks, and this is one of them. It's wonderful. They took this. they did use the studio as an instrument, and I know that's a cliche term to use, and I know Bob Geldof, hates that term. Or we use the studio as a canvas. Oh, fuck off, he says. That's what he said in an interview once about Queen being involved with Live Aid. But the Beatles were at this point using the studio as a blank canvas and as an instrument to do what they wanted to do, to present what they wanted to present. And this track is proof of that. It's a wonderful piece of Barnum and Bailey on acid.
Yeah.
That's the one way to describe it. So that's
Sure.
my number
Yeah.
16,
Yeah.
being for the benefit of Mr. Kate from Sergeant Pepper.
Exclamation point.
Yes.
And there is the grandchild. I recommend other people checking this out. The grandchild of this is Dear Madam Barnum by XTC.
Yes. Yes. I love that song.
It's fan freaking tastic.
Oh my God. Andy Partridge Goes to Town. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can I get a
Anyway,
cigarette? I mean, like literally, I need a cigarette. Oh my God. Thank you for that. Whew.
yeah, no problem.
I
Well
got
done,
No,
Ken.
yeah,
oh
thank you.
checkmate, mate.
Number 15,
Yes,
If I
number
Needed
15.
Someone.
Yes. George Harrison.
Um,
Ooh,
yeah, here we got that guitar thing going. And one of the great things about it is so much of this guitar um, pattern is on the offbeats, which that syncopated feel on the end of each beat
Yeah.
just really adds motion to it. And here we've got wonderful harmonies. Um, the thing that I like about this particular time is that John and Paul were singing together,
Yeah.
harmonies together. Not as much as they did in the early days. You see the videos of them, being around even around the same microphone. But after this point, they didn't do so much of that. It's like starting with Sergeant Pepper, um, it felt like more a collection of solo songs.
sure.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
start of the
The
but
separation. Yeah.
but regardless, um, yeah. If I needed someone, yeah,
Yeah.
That's
that's my
Rubber
number
Soul, right,
15.
Ken?
Huh?
That's Rubber Soul, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another nod to Rubber Soul. Fine. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Jamie, number 15.
My number 15 is going the year prior to Rubber Soul. We're going to stick in 1964 to the definitely the lesser of the two albums from 1964 from the Beatles, but um, it's lesser in that instead of having, you know, 13 A plus songs, there's only like seven A plus songs. Anyway, I'm going to Beatles for Sale, and this is John's track, I'm a Loser, which I believe is track two on the album. Um, what a double shot this album is in starting out, and I'm a Loser again has these fantastic harmonies that were just so um, you know I don't say this to be cheeky, but so instrumental to the Beatles' success.
Oh, yes, you
Um,
do. That's okay.
I just couldn't think of another word.
There you go.
Um, and just yeah, again, this is the beginning of John's sort of introspective period. And, I'm sure this was one of the kick in the backside from Bob Dylan types of responses for them to get, instead of just, she loves you, yeah, 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 to get real, man, and, talk about real things.
Yeah.
And, John probably felt like a poser and a loser at this point, just with kind of, having to keep Cynthia off to the side, him not really, loving all the touring and all the work they had to do. But you know from those pains you get this amazing piece of work. I'm a Loser. It's just such a pop gem of just substance and again, like singability. I mean, that's the I think from all these songs, the thing that distinguishes the Beatles from a lot of their compatriots is that it's just so eminently singable. Even if you sing poorly, like I do, you still, you're still just compelled to sing along with it because it's so darn catchy. Um, you know,
Okay.
love it. I'm a loser. Beatles for sale. Boom.
Okay. Good one. My number 15, ladies and gentlemen, is We're Sticking with Sergeant Pepper, and She's Leaving Home. From side one, this song is gutting. It's beautifully done, wonderfully executed with the strings. I'm counting 3 or 4 times in my head when I hear it. So, in the arrangement, you can correct me, Ken. I'm counting 3 or 4 times myself,
That's right.
but you know, even with the lyrics, Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock as the day begins, you know, silently closing the bedroom door, leaving the note that she hoped would say more. It's like it's about a woman who is living with her folks and she just wants to leave and just start her life. And she leaves a letter saying, I've got to go. And her parents, who have sheltered her all of her life, don't understand that that's what she's rebelling against. She wants to do things on her own, and just the whole arrangement of the song, very beautiful. And how on the choruses, you have, Paul McCartney is singing the lead vocal and doing like a call and response between him and John Lennon.
Yeah.
He does Paul does the lead and he does the response in terms of, um, it's heart-wrenching but beautiful, and it
Yeah.
just stands out for me as just a piece of beautiful pop symphonic music, just amazingly done, wonderfully executed, top notch. And it's my number 15. She's Leaving Home from Sergeant Pepper.
So are you saying you like this version better than the one on Sergeant Pepper soundtrack?
I knew you were going there.
Ken, you're number 14?
Ah, 14. And some people might say I added this song just to aggravate Jim, but it's Ticket to Ride. Um,
Uh,
and not the
Okay.
Carpenters version.
Yeah, not the 10-minute, no, all due respect to Karen Carpenter,
Um,
the 10-minute version.
yeah, and this is, I like the guitar riff. I really do. This is one that again takes me back to playing this in the band in the 80s. It's just it's for me, it's just I don't know. It's a great song.
Yep.
it's
Okay.
awesome.
Take
All
it or
right.
ride.
Ticket to
I would
ride.
like to
All
point
right.
out at this point, ladies and gentlemen, that all of Ken's selections have come from either A Hard Day's Night, Rubber Soul, or Revolver.
Yep. Yep. He
Well, that was
loves
from
those
Help.
albums. Yep.
What's that?
Ticket to Ride was on
It's from
Help, wasn't it?
Help. Yep. It's on
That's
Help.
from Help? Oh,
Yep.
gosh. See, I
Jim
disliked the
made a
song so much I couldn't even
mistake.
remember
I
what
know.
album it was from.
Jim made a
The
boo-boo.
professor
Okay,
made
there
a
we go.
mistake.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go. All right,
I'm
Professor.
glad I'm glad you guys could be there to see my humanity in full flower.
And point it out. Yes.
Yes.
All right, Professor, you're number
So
14.
I don't have any credibility left, and I think any thought I had of credibility, people
Right
will
out the
shred
window.
with my choice at number 14. In My Life from Rubber Soul is my number 14. Um,
Perfect.
it's yeah, it's a perfect song, and it's kind of hard to believe that I think there are 13 that are even more perfect than In My Life, but it's just the way the Beatles roll, people.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, this song is indelibly stamped to me with, Lennon's, you know, assassination in 1980 because, for weeks afterwards on the radio, you would always hear "In My Life" like a couple of times a day. Um, and
Yeah.
so the two are intertwined. And but yeah, what an amazing song for someone to have that depth of introspection so young.
Yeah.
Again, maybe it's the things ingested that brought this out, but still, absolutely astounding.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the lyric, there are places I remember in my life, though some have changed. It's amazing. You know, it's a good track. It's a good track.
Yeah.
Beautifully done. Wonderfully executed. I think they use a
And
harpsichord on that too.
yes, yep. And I'll bet this is like top five for most people. And again, it just says more to the strength of the Beatles catalog than it does like the weakness of this particular track.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the lyric goes, there are places I remember in my life, though some have changed, not for better, but forever or something. Yeah, like it's
Yeah, some forever, not
ever
for
not for
better.
better. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's oh my God. It's yeah, very poignant. All right. My number 14, The Fool on the Hill. Take that any which way you want in terms of whatever is going on today, um, with this show, etc. I I've always loved this song. Paul McCartney on vocal. Just I do believe this is from Magical Mystery Tour,
I think so.
Yep.
and it's just a standout in terms of just talking about someone who basically is just someone who is an observer of life, and no one seems to know him. You know what I mean? Like it's just he keeps to himself. He doesn't say much. He just observes things and people around him and makes his own notes, his own deductions, and conclusions for himself. It's just a very poignant, beautifully done, wonderful instrumentation on this track.
Mhm.
There are songs that you don't need to go into a lot of description or detail about why you like it. You just like the arrangement of the song and what it means for you. And that's my number 14.
Yeah,
So,
I think of this as the introvert song
yeah,
because, well,
think about it.
because
Yeah,
of
go
what
ahead.
it
Finish your thought.
what it says during the verse, as you just mentioned, Armando. But then it goes into that instrumental part with the recorder that's very happy and bouncy. So it's like Fool on the Hill, you know, kind of a loner, kind of whatever. But I'm an introvert, so I'm okay with that kind of
He's happy
feel.
with his life.
It's an interesting juxtaposition
I was going to
of
use,
feels in
yeah,
that song.
I was going to say juxtaposition, but I didn't want to use a improper word if it was improper to use that as a
Well, Jim
description.
usually uses the big words, so I got to throw in one every once in a while.
Okay.
He's got his thesaurus right next to his mouth.
Okay. Okay.
Incorrectly applied quite often, but there you go.
Okay.
Indubitably.
All right. My number 14 again, Fool on the Hill from Magical Mystery Tour. Ken, your
Very good.
number 13.
Number 13, Things We Said Today.
Oh,
Just the way the melody, it's a weird melody. But it and just the pairing of the vocals and the instruments is very interesting because in some ways it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, but it still does. It's like the entire song is a mood.
Okay.
I can't find a way to put it into words. It's just um again, in the music there is a syncopation, which I think almost always makes a song interesting because it's something more than just one, two, three, four, you know.
Yeah.
It's not as plotting. But anyway, things
Yeah.
we said today,
Yeah.
like it. No, that's
Oh,
my 13.
All
Lucky
right.
13.
Lucky
and that one
13.
is from A Hard Day's Night.
That
I
is
had to
from A
double
Hard Day's
check.
Night. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Lucky 13. Okay, Jim, you're number 13.
Lucky 13. So we're going from one Paul song to another. Mine is Two of Us from Let It Be, um, also known as Phase One, in which Doris gets her oats. Um, I just love this. I just love this song. I just think it's so jaunty and bouncy, and it's just such a the bridge on it. You know, you and I have memories. Again, just like it's a short little two-line bridge, but it's just done perfectly
Yeah.
from the composition to the arrangement to the performance. You know, again, just a simple little acoustic guitar song. And for folks who have seen you know, the Get Back documentary, there's a good long section in there of Paul and John working on this song, where John insists on singing this album with his teeth clenched, and it's John just being goofy, and it's just ridiculous, and it's so
Yeah.
funny, and it's, you know, it's a welcome respite through all of the tensions that sort of thwarted so many of those other sessions. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just think Two of Us is an amazing little ditty, again by my man Paul. So that's my number
What
13.
wasn't this written earlier in their career?
Are you thinking of the one after 909?
Well, I know that. I don't know. It's probably my imagination. Move on.
It might have been something that they wrote earlier, but surely from a harmonic and melodic complexity standpoint, it sure sounds more grounded in
No.
like
Yeah.
68, 69.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess
I
Shirley's not
probably
around, so we
dreamed it
can't
then.
ask her. Uh, okay. Never mind. Bum. All right. My number 13, ladies and gentlemen. The songs are gonna overlap. Eleanor Rigby.
The
Uh,
first overlap, yep.
First, probably many to come. Oh my God, just a fantastic orchestral piece of work, symphonic elements galore. Um, Father Mackenzie, like it's like just melodic as all get out, just amazing. And this story is talking about an individual who's basically a spinster who is on her own and wants to keep to herself, and nobody even comes to her funeral. It's that sad. It's beautifully done, wonderfully executed with the strings. This is where, to me, the Beatles started to go into their own in terms of the orchestrations and, uh, using full symphonies, etc. This is the intricate stuff that I loved as an 11-year-old. I never was into, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to hold your hand. They're fine, but even yesterday, for its simplicity of a track of 2 minutes, had its intricacies and its layers to it. And that's what I loved
Sure.
about their stuff.
Yeah.
Eleanor Rigby, number 13 for me, just an amazing piece of work. Wonderfully done, wonderfully executed with the strings, just amazing.
Yeah.
Just an amazing piece of work. All right.
Yeah.
Um, I remember
Yes.
in high school, in an English class, we were supposed to do an analysis of a poem, and I went out and bought I, I went out and bought the 45 of this. Actually, it was the B side of Yellow Submarine. And I brought this 45 in, and I had to convince my teacher to let me use this song as a poetry analysis. And she,
Really?
yeah, and I put forth my argument, and she agreed. It was one of my favorite assignments. Um, Also, to me, the best way to experience this song
Yes.
is watching it in Yellow Submarine on a big screen in a theater.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Mind blowing.
yeah, yeah. I like
Mind blowing. One
again.
of the best moments of that film.
I just think it's a sublime piece of work. Definitely one of the best tracks they've ever recorded and written.
Absolutely.
So, all right,
Okay, number
number
12.
12.
Number 12. Guess what? I'm going to a different album this time.
Were you
Um,
The
now?
devil, you
yes,
say?
and a very important song because it's one of the first actual music videos ever made. The song is Rain,
Oh, well,
from Past Masters. One of the best things about when they released the Beatles on CD finally, um, was the Past Masters collections, which was all the British singles that, of course, they didn't put on albums.
and the
But it's
EPs,
just,
yeah.
yeah, Past Masters are just wonderful collections. But Rain, here we go. Lots of nice, wonderful harmonies. And it is also another that to me hits me quite psychedelic, both in the harmonies and the melodies, and some good studio wizardry, in the production of this song. It's great. Um, Todd Rundgren does a wonderful cover of this too. So
Okay.
If I recall correctly, the version of Rain that was released on the Revolver Super Deluxe, isn't that taken at quite a more sprightly tempo? And then it was slowed down for the final recording that was released. Am I remembering that right?
I think so. I don't have a clear memory of that. I think so.
Okay.
Could be because they did a variety of takes on these songs where they changed things up. So
Yep.
thank you.
Well, hey, great choice, man.
All right. All right. Jim, you're number 12.
My number 12 is a song that was mentioned before in passing, but hasn't yet made the list. Yesterday. Armando, you alluded to it. This
Yeah.
classic tune from the Help album is, one of the greatest pop songs ever written, in terms of its sentiment, melodic structure, the harmonic flow, just the economy that's used in sort of producing this, you know, tight little tune. Again, the arrangement, very heartfelt, just warm with the acoustic guitar and the couple of strings, probably a cello, added to it. Um, Not as intricate as the string quartet that would be part of Eleanor Rigby, but still, fantastically used. And again, off of the hat to George Martin for bringing that to life. Yeah, I mean, again, yesterday might make most people's top five. Again, microns.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my number 12 is Back in the USSR from the White Album. And just a good balls out rock song. I'm sorry, they're having fun in the studio with this. There's no hidden meaning behind it. Paul McCartney on drums. I don't know whether this was at a point where Ringo walked out or I don't know what was going on.
I don't remember.
But Paul McCartney's on drums. He rocks out on the drums on this. Just a good guitar break in there, and it's just a good, fun rock song.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
it's there's no hidden meaning behind it. And John Bonham of Zeppelin had said that he could always tell with the Beatles songs who if it was Paul on drums or if it was Ringo. This is definitely Paul on drums. He is rocking out big time on this
yeah.
SOB, and he's having a good time doing it. I just, yeah. This is not an album I go back to a lot because of Helter Skelter. I won't go there, but in most of the songs, Sadie and Piggies and stuff, for the obvious reasons. But I do like this song. I think it's great. back in the USSR,
Yep.
from the White Album.
Great way to kick off a record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I'm going to put a question out there to people watching. Should this have been a single disc or a double disc?
Oh, you're going down that old road. Oh,
Not, and that's all I'm going to say. Put your answers down below. All right.
smells like
Number
another video to me.
number 11 to finish off part one
Okay,
of
yeah, my
On
final
the Winding
track for this
Road.
video, also from Past Masters, is We Can Work It Out.
Ooh,
Try to see it my way. Yeah, only time will tell if I am right or wrong. Oh man, it's a rocking song, but I tell you what, the lyrics really hit home. Um, you know, most songs by this time, as far as relation, I won't call them love songs, I'll call them relationship songs, is either I love you or she left me. Or, this is yeah, this was different. Um, uh, it's got some. I'm not sure if it's maracas or something somebody's shaking here. Um,
There's different
um,
percussion elements to it. Yeah.
yeah, this is McCartney at his best. This is, catchy as all get out. It's tuneful, yet it's not a granny song. This is when they were still rocking,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's always been one of my favorites for this period. We can work it out. Hmm.
Okay. All right.
great. What um is it? It's not stop time that they're using, but just the way that in the chorus you had those two sections where it was like bum 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 bum, and then it would kind of continue again at the same tempo. What's that? What's that metronomic trick that they're using, Ken? Is there a
They're just
formal?
going into three for four
Okay,
for 4 bars.
Yeah, they're going for 3/4, and then they go
Bum
back
bum
into
bum
the
bum bum bum.
yeah,
then
one,
back to
two,
four.
three.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's one, two,
all
it's
three,
right,
one, two,
fascinating. Yeah.
three. Yeah,
brilliant.
it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then they go back to the main
Yeah.
song. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Jim, you're number 11 to finish off
Number
part one.
11 is a song that surprised me. This one has grown in stature for me over the years, and I can pinpoint exactly why. I'm talking about Get Back from Let It Be, and I can pinpoint it exactly to that scene where you just see in the Let It Be documentary, Paul McCartney just begin to, as if he's channeling something from God, just makes up this song out of thin air. He's just farting away on the bass, and all of a sudden, what starts to reveal itself in tempo and melodic ideas is Get Back. It's just kind of like astounding to me that he was so in tune with the muse that he could essentially conjure stuff up like this out of thin air. um, I sound like, Salieri, waxing about what Mozart did from the Amadeus movie, but and maybe this is how most incredibly competent musicians work, but for whom the process of making music and writing music and understanding notation and all that is a complete mystery, just seeing it sort of unfold before my eyes was, almost unbelievable. And just the song just remains catchy as all get out. So yeah, Get Back to me is my number 11.
Yeah, I need to buy that documentary of Get Back. I need to get it and watch it, give it another view, and give it more time. I found it, all due respect, the fact that they were stopping and starting tracks and like doing a take and like, oh, it's not working, let's do it again kind of thing, a bit monotonous for me, but
Yeah.
I gotta watch that. I gotta get it. Good choice. My number 11 to finish off part one of A Long and Winding Road. Let's have some fun, ladies and gentlemen, shall we? Oopla dee oopla da from the White Album. I think it's a good fun song. You know, with the piano intro on it and the bass, just that rhythm to it, and the use of the horns on the certain sections. I just think it's a fun track. Talking about Desmond and Molly Jones, you know, I mean, it's a funny, yeah, with the laugh. I just think it's funny, and I just, there was a certain uh, there was a rumor that there was an argument between Paul and John about including Revolution number nine on the album because it's like, does it fit with the rest of the album? And John says, really? Like Oobla Dee Oobla Da? Really? Like, you're going to put a song called Oobla Dee Oobla Da, but you don't want to put Revolution number nine? I stand by Paul's decision, but he got outvoted for that. Revolution number nine, not a song. I'm sorry. Big newsflash. It's not a song. But I think Obla Di Oblada is a fun song. It's melodic as all get out. It's catchy as hell. I think they were just trying to have some fun with this, and it works on all levels. No hidden meaning, just a good, fun, melodic piece of work. And it's my number 11. Okay. I'm probably going to get blasted for we are going to get blasted for our choices for part one of Along the Winding Road, but you know what? It's our list. So please put down the
I would like
comments.
to
Sorry.
I would like to point out that of the 30 songs that we've, or the 30 selections that we've just went through, there was only one song that was repeated, and that was Eleanor Rigby. So Beatles are so freaking awesome. We've got, 28 different tracks that we've already sort of submitted, and who knows what 10 through 1 will be.
Stick with us for part two of Along and Winding Road, Beatles top 20 tracks. And yeah, we're just having fun with this. Please put down the comments below, down there, your choices for your favorite 20 Beatles songs. I mean, no right or wrong answers, just opinions. And I want to thank.
Hey,
There's only coffee in my cup. I want to thank
yes,
Jim and Ken for coming along with me for this, and for Jim for putting me on the spot to come up with a list in 24
That's right.
hours uh, for this episode.
you've met the challenge, sir.
Oh, yes, I have. And I've done pretty good with it too. So please stay tuned for part two of Along and Winding Road. And we'll see you soon. Please click like and subscribe. And do hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content we got coming up. And we will see you soon with part two of Along and Winding Road on the Music Den. Bye for now.